Hello and welcome to the Caravan and Motorhome Club's online virtual club week, where I'm going to be talking to friends and colleagues to find out everything you'll need to know about touring this year and next. Have you popped to a pop-up? Maybe not recently, but certainly it's something that the club is doing in bigger numbers than ever before, and from the sound of it, they are hugely successful. I'm going to talk about pop-ups and I'm going to talk about events with Brian Morgan, who is the head of communications and events. Hiya Brian, how are you?
Hi Matt, how are you doing? I'm very well, thank you. Good to see you.
Oh, the way you sneaked in the Man City mug there. Let's talk about pop-ups. I know, one of the things that's happened and that the club's invested a lot of time and effort into is pop-up campsites. Can you share with me a bit of the thinking behind that? Why is it that the club came up with them, and why do you think they've worked so well?
The fantastic news that the club has is the ability to put pop-ups in virtually any location within the UK. So whether it's private land or public land, we have an exemption certificate, which is really good, which means we can put a pop-up up for 28 days. What we did going back in 2019 was start using the pop-ups at the festivals, so things like Carfest and Countryfile. And you know what, the response from members was absolutely brilliant, and they loved it, and they thought it was a really sort of new, innovative way of getting out and about touring. So we started with those, and then obviously things happened last year and all the events were pretty much cancelled. But towards the end of the year, we were allowed to put a temporary campsite at our Blade and Chains campsite, which is literally on the estate with Blenheim Palace. So what a fantastic location. So we actually ran a temporary pop-up for 50 nights, which was just frankly amazing. And we've got a lot of people to thank for doing that. But basically, we can now take these pop-ups anywhere within the UK. And they're just a great idea, great invention.
You know, the thing I really like about it, Brian, I've been to a lot of festivals, and I would say the camping experience at festivals is variable, to say the very least. It can be pretty grim, actually, in a lot of cases. Whereas I know with the club, I know we're going to be okay. I'm in my comfort zone. Things are going to be properly organised.
Matt, it's just like it's a bit like a club site, but it's not a club site. It's the same sort of expertise and skill and knowledge that goes into one of our main sites, but it's a little bit different. The atmosphere is different. It's much more relaxed in effect. So you're going to be in a field potentially. But it's got all the facilities there, and it's just a different experience for members. So it's definitely quality, but it's definitely an experience.
Okay, tell me about the next year then. How's it going to work? In as much as we can predict anything at all at the moment, tell me what the club has planned for 2021.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Matt. A lot of things have obviously changed over the past year. What we want to do is do another 2 or 3 pop-up campsites this year. So we're working with a couple of partners, and we believe that we are okay to do it. It'll be later in the year, probably July, August, and hopefully, by that time, we'll have a better understanding of what's going on within the world and the lockdown, etc. So the sites are just fantastic venues. They're places that you would want to go anyway. They've got an attraction there, so there's always something to do. So basically, I'm not going to give the game away just at the moment, but they'll be on our website very shortly as to where they are. And believe me, that just when you see the locations, you'll just want to be there. If we have the chance to do some pop-up festivals as well, then we're in discussion with a couple of organisers on those. So if they can go ahead, obviously depending on what's happening within the world at the moment, but if they can go ahead, we want to be part of that. But definitely the 28-day pop-up campsites are where we're going to be this year.
How do you choose the locations, Brian? Because you can't go everywhere you want to go. You have to be selective, presumably, because otherwise you won't have the people to run the site.
Yeah, definitely. It takes a lot of thought about how we're going to do this. So there's two basically aims that we have. One is that where we can attach it to an existing event. So if we've got a festival, or even we've got our own club sites, we can attach it to those. So it's basically given us a couple of options, and we can take this literally anywhere, but they've got to be of value to members, and then that's so that basically it'll be somewhere where they want to go, where there might be a lot of the campsites full up, so we can put one in a specific area, or it may be sort of the festivals as well. So it really depends, but the idea is that it will meet our members' demands. So if there's a particular location around the UK, where we've got a site that maybe not in that area, but we can do a deal with a local landlord, then we potentially want to rock up there. So the choice is where we want it to be, but it will always be where we think members will want to go.
One of the big attractions of club sites is that when you're there, typically there's going to be a lot to do. How do you replicate that with a pop-up?
The fantastic idea, when we first did these in 2019, we knew we had to do something a little bit different. So one of the things we did at the events there was to have morning yoga and Tai Chi, and then maybe in the evening we've had some local entertainment with local bands, and they're sourced through sort of music colleges. So it's just adding that bit extra to make it more of a memorable experience. We also have food, so some of the food vendors would come along as well. So what we're planning to do is make the experience much more memorable for our members. So we'll always be looking to add things in there.
So sorry, Brian, you've had bands at these pop-ups and you haven't called me.
You are third on my list because obviously it was a trial. We wanted to make sure that people would appreciate this. But you and your walnuts are absolutely welcome to be with us this year, Matt.
I shall bring my walnuts with me. So tell me, for somebody that hasn't been to one of these pop-ups, what's the atmosphere like? How does it differ, if you like, from what people might expect from a club site?
Yeah. Quality aside, it's always going to be managed and run as a quality campsite, but we rely on volunteers as well. So a lot of the staff there will be people that know about campsites. So it'll have all the facilities in there. So you'll have the usual toilet blocks, etc. We'll have waste areas, electric hookup is one of the things we'll have there as well. So it'll be almost replicating what a club does in terms of the facilities, but it's different. It's a completely different vibe from being on a main site. And it's just the fact you're in a field potentially, and there's nothing else there, just makes it a little bit different experience. So I think the people that really enjoyed that, and the feedback we had when we did the one at Blenheim, was just that they loved the idea. It's a little bit more, the vibe's different. It's just a little bit less formal, but it's certainly, they make the most of it.
I don't know about you, Brian, but I feel like I've got this kind of pent-up desire to get out there and experience things when it's safe to do so, when we're able to do so. I imagine from the club side as well, you've got this pent-up desire to show people what you can do and make sure they're having a good time. What other activities, what events have we got coming up that maybe members need to know about?
So obviously, like we're doing today, Matt, we would normally be at the NEC, and we would normally done the Glasgow and the Manchester shows, but obviously we're not there, and it's not going to happen for a few months yet. So what we've definitely tried to do is just engage our members. So we've had a lot of virtual events. So in last year, 2020, we had the Big Little Tea Time Festival, the Big Little Festival, the Big Little National Festival, so you can see a theme coming here. These were all about just engaging in a virtual way our members. They included a lot of competitions. We also had some fantastic quizzes. So all credit to the social media team. They really pulled it out of the bag. As we go forward into 2021, if we're still in lockdown, we'll still maintain and start doing these virtual events. We just finished one, which was Beautiful Britain, which was a really great opportunity for members to showcase where they will go for their local walks, their cycling, etc., the hiking. It's all about staying local, taking photos, throwing them into us, and then we will publish them. They're on our website now, and you can just see there's some fantastic photographers out there. But it is all about just engaging and giving them something, you know, that the club can help them support in doing. So we will carry on with these for this year, as long as it's, you know, we're in lockdown and it's needed. Obviously, everybody, as you said, Matt, everybody's just waiting. It's a bit like a cork from a bottle. When we do get the final go ahead to get out there and do the things that we really want to do around touring, you know, it's going to be great. So we're all sort of waiting for that date. But as I say, in the meantime, we'll do whatever we can to sort of entertain our members in these virtual events.
Well, you know, the sands are shifting all the time, aren't they? It's a very changeable world we live in. I presume the best place to keep in touch with all of that is on the website.
Yeah, definitely. It's always updated. As I say, for the 228-day pop-ups this year, they will be announced very shortly. You'll be able to see those. But any other campaign that we're doing, all the information is on our website. You know, the marketing guys do a great deal of work in terms of getting this information out to members. So they're very good at communicating, but obviously checking on the website or social media platforms at any stage, you'll find out what's going on.
Brian, it's always lovely to talk to you.
It's great to see you, and hopefully towards the end of the year we'll get together as well.
Yeah. You take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers, Matt. Thank you.